I've been getting back into dueling in Battlefront 2. Today I'll be analysing my 1v1 games against high level players until I lose. I was lucky enough to run into some max level players, so the duels will be competitive enough for a good analysis. I'll be commenting on dueling matchups, ability usage, and how I'm predicting movement and all the other fun stuff, so if you're a new player this should help you out. If you do want to see more dueling tutorials and Battlefront content, hit the like button as it really supports the channel. With that out of the way, let's get into the first duel. We have a Kenobi versus Maul matchup, which most would be quick to say favours Kenobi, but Maul does have a few things going for him. If he throws his lightsaber when Kenobi uses Mind Trick, it'll completely cancel the effects, which makes his defensive rush a pretty risky move, given that he has 3 abilities that can counter it. His fast movement is also great for getting out of Kenobi's deadly pressure, so I would say that while it definitely still does favour Kenobi, Maul isn't helpless in a fight like this. You can see how I blocked his lightsaber throw by following the lightsaber with the movement of my camera, and then I get a parry with the animation cancel after the lunge. Here I'm just trying to apply pressure, and I sort of wasted my push there, but I think it was worth it. You can see how Maul still uses his spin attack even though he's mind tricked. This is due to the lightsaber throw thing I said earlier. Here I'm anticipating the lightsaber throw again, but it hits my block on an awkward angle and I try to block it, and then he punishes that quite severely. If I'm being honest, this duel wasn't super exciting and it did go on for quite a while. As you can see, it ended in a draw here, where I was close to killing him after he used that chokehold, but we'll just move on to the next duel, where things get a little bit more fast paced and exciting. As you can see, the matchup is Luke vs Grievous, which is an interesting matchup because they sort of counter each other. Since Luke can only regenerate 200 health and Grievous can do a lot more than 200 damage in a very short amount of time, he counters Luke in that regard. But Luke's rush can go through Grievous's block and his fast swing speed can counter Grievous's clunky mechanics. So I start the game off with a good double parry, which is going to start building up that initiative, and then I catch him with the repulse and the push to get 2 hits. Here he's really low, but unfortunately I didn't get to punish that claw rush because it sent me into the air. He uses a risky thrust surge, which I easily parry into rush, and then you can see here I do that rush through his block. And then I get a hook swing, and I tried to get rushed through his block again, but I failed, so I'm keeping close with lunges, and I use repulse to stop his health regeneration. The ending claw rush animation leaves him vulnerable, so I can finish him off there, but let me explain that epicenter thing for those that don't know. Epicenter is a star card that'll increase the amount of damage of 3 pulses center radius, but that extra damage goes through block, so even though it isn't much, only like 30 or 40, you can still stop your enemy's health by chipping them with that little bit of extra damage. Next we have a Luke versus Maul, which probably favours Luke slightly just because of the high amount of damage he can deal with his saber swings, but I would say it's pretty even. I jump to the right there to bait him into dodging to the left, and then I predict that and get a swing and a follow-up. He catches me with that choke though, and then gets a follow-up with the lightsaber throw, which does leave Luke with a bit of permanent health lost. Luke only has 200 health regeneration, so even a small attack like that will take off some of his permanent health. Now he's playing a bit more aggressively, so I'm trying to match that, but he's doing a good job at not letting me punish. He catches me when I use repulse, and I parry the spin attack, and I decide now it's the time to try and match his sort of aggressive energy and try and put him on the back foot, but I only managed to get a single parry and then I have to back off because of stamina. I sort of bait him into thinking I had stopped attacking, and then I lunge back in, but again he just catches me with the throw, which completely shuts down my attack. After that he starts to play into his abilities, but more mainly with his saber throw, and he's not swinging as much, so I start trying to analyze his dodge pattern to go for a hook swing prediction. I'm not actually trying to deal damage with these hook swings, I'm just trying to see which way he dodges, and now I can see that he keeps dodging to the left in a circular motion, so I just stay one step ahead of him and catch him before he chokes. This next duel is a Rey vs Dooku, which I'd say is a pretty balanced matchup given that they both have 3 dodges and some powerful damage combos. I start by trying to get parries and maybe a parry dash strike combo, but he double parries me instantly, so I just mind trick to make him back off and make it harder for him to pressure me, and then I let my slow health regeneration happen. Here I'm letting him overextend, and then I catch him with a nice parry combo into dash strike. Here I nearly predict his movement, but he manages to block it unfortunately. I get a bit too carried away trying to keep pressure, and so he catches me with the stun, but he only goes for 1 hit, which was smart because I probably could have traded the second one. I'm not too worried about the exposed weakness in Duelist, so I catch him with that swing that he wasn't expecting when he tries to hook swing, but then he stuns me when I try to dash, which sends me flying. I have a somewhat devious idea to finish this duel, and it's just to play really carelessly and wait for him to stun me, and then I'll dash strike when he gets back up, and then finish him like that, and you can see it works kind of perfectly. This is a pretty cheeky way to finish a duel with Rey, but it definitely works against unsuspecting low health enemies. After the enemy Kylo finishes off my teammate rather brutally, we now have a Rey vs Kylo matchup. I'd say this matchup favours Rey, but every matchup against Kylo kind of favours the light side hero, so I'm not going to go too in depth to that. However, that doesn't mean he can't deal a lot of damage. I jump in the air to bait him, and then I catch him with that stagger and predict his swing afterwards. I'm trying to go for an attack here, but he predicts my mind trick, which was really good from him, and then freezes me in pulse. He then follows up with frenzy, and for some reason I decided to parry it and not dodge it, which was not a smart move by me because it made me lose even more permanent health. You can tell that he's very aware I have my dash strike again because he's playing much more patiently. We do actually hook swing each other at the same time there, which was kind of cool, but again, he's not going to risk using frenzy and he's keeping his block up pretty strong. He's not going to try and go for too many parries because if I get the parry I can turn it into a dash strike combo and deal a lot of damage, so I just back off and let him back into the dueling zone. I'm just swinging at his block because I really want him to try and parry me, but he's very aware of this, so he does a good job at not trying to parry me back. I drop my block to bait out the pull, which I then block, and then I get behind him and land the dash strike. I punish it poorly, but then he uses frenzy on low health, which is never really a good idea, so I just trade all that damage and that's enough to get the win. Here we've got a Yoda vs Dooku, which, to be honest, is probably one of the harshest matchups, favouring Dooku majorly due to his impressive speed, his ability to counter Yoda's bonus health with his exposed weakness, and just all around a much stronger damage output. However, there is one thing you can play into as Yoda, and that's Dooku's slow stamina regeneration and slow health regeneration. Yoda is absolutely amazing at keeping up pressure with his lunges and then with his dash strikes, so you can see in this duel how I'm trying to play into that, and I'm making sure to utilize the animation cancel, which is that sort of quick jump attack that you'll see me do a bit where I don't fully jump off the ground. This is really good as Yoda because it means you don't have to use your slow swing animation. I get him low health with the double parry, and now I'm just using lunges to keep close with him. That's very important with Yoda, that I'm trying to keep close to him in this duel, because you can see when I fail to do that, I can't really deal any damage. So, I utilize the lunge to get back into close range and then try and play for parries or something similar to that. You can see here that he's trying to be a bit more aggressive since he has Duelist activated, but now his stamina is running low. He does hit me with that lightning strike there, but since his stamina is low, I'm still trying to swing frantically to catch him out, because this is the best time to attack as Yoda. When your opponent is on low health or low stamina is when you need to pick up the pressure and use your dash strike to chip away at their health. Although I see him activate Duelist and my stamina was also kind of low, so I just jump away and back off them, and I'm waiting for the effects of exposed weakness and Duelist to wear off, otherwise it's not too safe for me to attack. I use the animation cancel to preemptively counter his lightning strike, which I then double parry to get 3 hits. Now that he's low health, I need to keep up the pressure with lunges and dash strikes, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. I use my extra health there so that even though he hits me with that lightning stun and a hit, it doesn't do enough damage for me to have to back off. And you can see me dodging in using both my dodges and a dash strike just to get close again. And when I'm swinging like crazy, that it's just me trying to get a lunge on him, which you can see catches him off guard there and gets me the win. Yoda is just all about pressure. That's really the key to playing him. And for our next duel we have Yoda vs Maul, and I personally think this favours Maul given that using his spin attack he can create distance from Yoda, rendering his pressure and attack strategy pretty much useless if he does it right. Right off the bat, Maul hits me with that saber throw and I try to block it, but I ended up just getting hit by it twice, so I'm regenerating that while being careful not to take any more damage. I activate my bonus health, which gets quickly stripped off by a lightsaber throw and then a follow-up hit afterwards, and now Maul's trying to keep the pressure on me, but I'm not letting him have it and I catch him with a double parry when he tries to overextend. I personally think that parrying with Yoda is a really underrated strategy, even if his swing speed is low. We exchanged some blows there, and I think I came out on top even though I was on about 200 health, because I can keep pressure with that dash strike, and then when you use that choke, it leaves him completely vulnerable, and I can finish the duel. And that's ones until I lose. I decided that I'd end the episode here given that the match was over, but if you do want to see me continue this and actually keep dueling until I lose, hit the like button and let me know what I should do in the comments. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you out on the Battlefront.